Your lazy money is costing your heirs their inheritance. I am Jessica Weaver, founder of The Wealth Boutique. I have been a wealth advisor for over 15 years now, and this is part of our lazy money series. We're talking about 5 different areas where lazy money is costing you money. And I know you're not lazy by any means, so why should your money? Well, let's talk about how this is happening. I'm going to give you some examples, some questions to think about to get your money working better for you. And where are the main areas we see this costing heirs their inheritance, their estate? So how do we see this happening? 1, having several old 401ks. Last week we talked about 401ks and how having random 401ks out there living, not being managed, is costing you money. This is another example of them. Not having a clear plan on how you want your assets to be left. And to who? How? Sitting in old random accounts outside of it. We see this a lot with bank accounts, having random bank accounts. Ooh, that bank's giving me a higher CD rate. I'm going to have my money there. It's a pain, trust me. Outdated or missing beneficiaries. This happens a lot with those random old 401k plans. You never knew it was there. You forgot about it. You never updated it with your second child or with your spouse. Not being coordinated with your estate plan. So there are certain accounts like 401ks, IRAs, life insurance, annuities that have a beneficiary designation. Those are not going to pass through your will. So if you have your will stating one thing, those beneficiary designations another thing, that can cause some havoc here. Unnecessary taxes and probate costs. I'm going to give you an idea of some of the highest probate costs there are and which states are the highest. Let's take a look. So first question is, who's going to get my money? Where do you want to leave your money? And how do I protect them? You don't want your gift to cause them, 1, a hassle, take up a ton of their time, cost them money in taxes either. Okay. The 3 main areas that we see lazy money and the lazy estate plans, we'll just wrap that into it too. People not having an estate plan, that's just being lazy. You know better. I'm going to throw you out in front of the bus. You know better. Reach out to us. We will help you implement an estate plan at a very reasonable cost and a very quick turnaround time frame of 2 to 3 weeks. Stop being lazy. It's costing your heirs a lot of money. Okay. So 1 is taxes, paying unnecessary taxes. This happens a lot with retirement plans. You leave behind a 401k. That beneficiary has 10 years to take the money out of the 401k, and they're going to pay a ton in taxes. A widower pays about 30 to 40% more in taxes when they inherit an IRA. The next generation, adult children, they're going to pay an additional 30 to 40%. So right there is 70% of that retirement account is gone in taxes. Yikes. Probate costs. And the time. So New Jersey is not a high-cost probate state, but it's a long time frame. It's a very long time frame. Our courts are backlogged. It's a hassle. What about if you have property in different states? Now you have to go through probate in those different states. Here, let's talk about the highest probate states. California, it's 48% of the estate value. So if you have $1 million estate, and that could just easily be their house, you're going to pay $40,000 to $80,000 in probate costs. Another high one, New York, 3 to 7% of the estate value. Florida, Pennsylvania, they also are very high for like a $300,000 estate. You could be paying $15,000 to $30,000 in probate costs. Connecticut, they are now coming into the news because they are very high for high net worth estates. So you're living in one of these states, you gotta not be lazy with your estate plan and think this through. So what goes through probate? It's anything that does not have a beneficiary designation or is not in a trust. That's gonna go through your probate. Probate also is gonna make your information known to the public. So if there are creditors after you, they will know this from the probate process and they have an opportunity to make claim on their unpaid obligations, of your unpaid obligations. Where we see this happening, this is our 3rd point. So taxes, probate costs, and now the 3rd piece is huge, nursing homes. Nursing homes can come after your estate, and Medicaid is a Medicaid estate recovery. They can also come after your estate when it's in the probate process for anything unpaid. So if you're in a nursing home, you pass away, and you have a few months of bills there, they can come after your estate for it. Same thing, Medicaid, they can come for any assets that could have been used for your care that was not. They, at that probate process, have that opportunity for it. So those are some big risks that really whittle down an estate. They say on average from one generation to the next, about 70% of assets is lost. And then to the third generation, about 90% of assets are lost. You can see why. Taxes are going to eat up 30 to 70% of it. Probate costs are going to eat up another 4 to 8% of it. Nursing homes or any unpaid debt obligations, that can eat up another huge piece of it. So what do we do, ladies? What do we do here? So we don't have a lazy estate, but a really maximized estate for it. One, reposition assets. We do a ton of this, where we are moving money from that pre-tax 401k IRA bucket to a Roth bucket, because when your heirs inherit that, it's tax-free money for them. And it also saves you tax money while you're living. That's a no-brainer. DM us if you want more information on that. Adding beneficiaries and updating your beneficiary so that it does not go through probate, but it will go directly to those beneficiaries. And working with an attorney, we have attorneys in every state. We work with a platform. You can access them through us. Where does it make sense to put assets into a trust to avoid probate costs, especially in those high-cost states? Or, like me, I have real estate in multiple states. That will be a headache if something were to happen to me. And then planning for long-term care so that your estate isn't on the hook for anything unpaid, whether it's the nursing home or Medicaid. Have a long-term care plan in place. We just had a client come in. We had some long-term care. We just added to it because she wants to have a $500,000 cushion that can go towards her long-term care. And now she gets to tell her son, listen, I have this money reserved. You don't have to try to find the cheapest nursing home or put me on a wait list for a Medicaid bed. I want to have a good standard of care, quality of care at that time in my life. And it's my responsibility to pay for it. Now, to give you some ideas, having that plan in place shifts you from lazy money to being very proactive and protecting the assets for your heirs, especially if you are married. So important to have a long-term care plan in place so that one spouse doesn't eat up all the assets for their own care and leaves you with very little. So the 3 steps: reposition your assets so they're more tax efficient to pass on, add beneficiaries and or trust to avoid probate, and having a long-term care plan in place is crucial. These will help you avoid the unnecessary taxes, probate costs, and time, and then also nursing homes, Medicaid, or other banks, any outstanding loans, debt obligations from coming after your estate in the probate process. To give you a little visual, right? When you pass away, beneficiaries are going to pass directly to the beneficiaries, and that trumps your will. That is going to be dictated by those beneficiaries. Versus anything that doesn't have a beneficiary designation or a trust, that's going to pass through your will through the probate process. So you have 2 different streams of passing assets: beneficiaries, trusts, or through your will and probate. Hopefully that helps to distinguish the 2 for you. Stay tuned, because next week we're going to go into another area of lazy money that we see running rampant, and cannot wait to give you a taste of it. Let's see. Take a look at my notes. Taxes. So we have lack of an estate plan was this week. Next week we're going to dive even more into taxes. We gave you a little taste today. If you need help addressing any of these lazy estate planning mistakes, again, you're not lazy, so why should your estate? Reach out to us at thewealthboutique.com, and we will get you hooked up with the right advisor given your situation. We'll see you then.